It's a great day for hockey here in Blaine, Minnesota. My name's Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play of this evening's contest in the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase 2009 matchup between the Northstar Elite and the home team, the BC Capitals. Welcome in, and let's quickly get you through the starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors. The Northstar Elite will go with Sophia Gianni Eckel in between the pipes. Defensively, Gianna Horde and Charlie Long. The wings, Carson Labonte and Peyton Blom, centered by Skylar Rushfler. They're in the green uniforms, very reminiscent of the Dallas Stars. And they will skate left to right. This is played down the length of the ice. Icing, just 18 seconds into the contest, allows me to talk about the BC Capitals, who look very Washington Capitals-esque. They'll go with Kira Pong in between the pipes. Defensively, Ailey Cooper and Emma Hakita start out. On the blue line, Kira Bui and Sarah Akazuki are the wings, and the center is Abigail Young. Snapped right into the breadbasket of the netminder Pong, and she will hold on for the whistle. Capitals with a record of 2-1, all of those games finishing in regulation, so they have 6 of a possible 9 points through 3 games. It is not the phantom point system, it's the system that I prefer, which is if there's a game, there should be a loss. So you get 3 points for a regulation victory, 2 for an overtime victory, 1 for an overtime loss. And there's a quick shot and a goal tapped in, and it's the captain who gets her squad on the board just 49 seconds in. The goal is scored by Gabriella Lee. It is her 3rd goal and 6th point in just the start of game number 4. And BC selects get on the board first. They fell to the Manitoba All-Stars 5-0, but have tasted back-to-back victories since. There's a big save, but it kicks out, and Emma Biros buries the rebound before we even have had time to announce the first goal. The 2 goals come 8 seconds apart. And quickly jumping out on top, the Capitals lead 2-0. Brought into the offensive zone by Mackey, centering pass that goes through the crease and out across. So Rebecca McFarland picks up the lone assist on the Gabriella Lee goal that took place 49 seconds in. And Jung picks up the assist. So again, the BC Capitals in white and the Northstar Elite in green. The Northstar Elite hail from New Jersey, or at least based out of there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The BC Capitals, the BC standing for British Columbia, the western province of our neighboring country to the north. From the point, and Hakita throwing that towards target from the left side, off the mark. 17:45 left to go in the first, and being pressured was Ella Olsen. Stripped away, firing and scoring a goal, her 2nd early on in this one. Call it the 2:22 mark. And BC selects on top by a score of 3-0 on the back of Lee's 2nd goal of the evening. The Capitals in the white jerseys with red numerals outlined in navy and red names, red shoulders, and a red stripe across the bottom of the jersey as Elite, the Northstar Elite burn their time out. The Capitals in the navy blue breezers with red and white stripes up the side. White socks with a white socks with a red stripe. And then Northstar Elite in the green jerseys with white numerals. White and green on the bottom. Black breezers with the white socks striped in gray and green at the bottom, and they skate from left to right here in period number 1. We want to remind our audience that there is no resurfacing between periods 1 and 2. We will at that point just take a 60-second step away from the mic and keep things rolling. It's between periods 2 and 3 that we will switch ends as well as resurface the ice. That's the opportunity if you have time, or you will have time if you want to run to the kitchen, run to the restroom or something. I suppose you could probably slip out to the restroom in between periods 1 and 2 with that 60-second break, but we hate to find out that people are at home expecting that it's going to be a resurfacing. There's a backhand effort off of the tip. And a couple of big saves made by the netminder, Gianna Eckel. Floated into the corner, and Maya Shepard will come away with it. Poked down, and skating onto it is Claire Shine. Punched up, and right in front of the Northstar bench, they'll make a D-to-D pass, and getting that ahead was Shepard. Coming away with it, the Capitals. Handing off was Biros. Firing a shot and scoring on the backhand is Abigail Jung. That is her second of the tournament, third point of the tournament. 3:31 into period number 1, and it's a 4-0 start for the BC Capitals. On the draw, Rushbler for Northstar Elite, looking for a centering feed, and the Capitals get out of the zone. Myra Connor picks up the lone assist on the Jungle. And Northstar Elite will poke that out to center ice. Pressured, but still able to make the play was Gemma Hahn. They'll rim it around the boards. Looking for a centering pass. Blocker save made by the netminder, Gianna Eckel, who has been under fire early. 7-1 shots on goal, favoring the Capitals. Hahn gets it in, and eventually they'll take it deep. Skating onto this is Carson Labont. Off the back boards, Horde races to it, swings it around, and the Capitals do a good job of pressuring. They've got a lot of players on that side. If Northstar Elite can switch ends, they might have some open real estate. Skating with it is Rushbler. She'll get it in deep and head off for a change. Audrey Yonda gives chase and comes up with a steal. Helping out straight off the bench was Ella Olsen. Now it's a 2-on-1, and it's Lee. Lee in for the hat trick, fires, a save made. And then Lee tries to put home the rebound. That's also denied. Rising shot well up and off the mark by the time it settles down. And letting that go was McFarland. Tapped ahead, McFarland applies some pressure. Moves that forward for Jung. Jung strong on the puck. Lose it for a moment, but ties up Olsen to keep that in the zone. Here's Hakaida. And on her backhand, Cooper able to keep that in the zone. Rebound comes out, and getting it right back is Yonda. Yonda stays onside with Emerson Fink. Now it's a 2-on-2 the other way if they hurry. Coming away with it is Jung. Jung takes some pressure from Nora Kratz. Crashes into the boards, pops back up, seems to be no worse for the wear. And unfortunately, this happens every once in a while. Capitals, with a player who heads back to the bench, listed as 72. We don't have a 72 on our program. We'll have to check and see. There's somebody that maybe ended up switching jerseys, as it doesn't have a name on it either. Stolen by Shine, who plays it in deep. 13:02 left to go in the opening frame. Lee backhands that over for Claire Shine. Lee makes the handoff. A little bit awkward, but Mackey able to fight through that. Throws it towards the net. It's sitting there for a moment, finally covered up by the netminder. 80 Schneider. So the initial roster that I had did not have her listed. But fortunately, youthhockeyhub.com does. Schneider with a goal and an assist in her first 3 games of action. Defending the side was Addison Riebel. This will kick out. Having to be careful as there is a forechecker. Floated ahead and making the outlet pass was Aubrey Lang. Now Long, Charlie Long, finds Lang. Lang touches it on, but unable to maintain possession. Hahn will come away with it for the Capitals. Lang pressures her, reaches in, and pokes that away. Horde, looking to throw her body into it and keep it in the zone, does at least for the moment. Backed up as Hazel Schinkelberg is able to play that deep. Northstar will make a change and does it in a timely fashion. Capitals also getting some fresh bodies out there. A backhand shot held onto by the netminder for a while. It looked like the 2 players, one from each side, trying to get a stick lift going, and then it seemed like they were more preoccupied and tied up with one another than going after the loose puck. Northstar Elite does get a shot off, and that's handled by Kira Pong, who, credit to her teammates, Pong hasn't been called on too much so far. Here's Lee centering it over. Big stop made by the netminder, Gianna Eckel, who's tall to the task but loses her stick in the process. Guarding out front is Sadie Raleigh. Set around the boards, and they'll clear the zone, and helping out is Raleigh. She'll get her goaltender stick back to her. Into the corner goes Sophia Busking. Busking is a number 7, but is wearing 54 out there. Was 7 on the roster. But again, a change in jerseys last minute. And fortunately, this one, the coaching staff able to let me know ahead of time. There's a centering pass out front. Blocker save, but the rebound goes right to Schneider, and she buries it. Time of the goal, 9 minutes and 36 seconds into the first period. And the Capitals lead 5-0. So when we were looking at the stats online ahead of time, it said that Busking had no goals and no points. But that's not the case, because it was the unnamed 54 that was credited. So Lee and McFarland pick up the assists in that order. And body starting to get tangled up right in front of the Capitals bench, but everybody seems to come into that no worse for the wear. With it and looking to make a handoff was Yonda. Gets it to the point. Stick save made by the netminder, and Pong then hugs the left post, or left as she sees it, right as the offense sees it. Gathered, and they'll go D to D as Shepard is set up by Nora Kratz. Sent up, tipped, and comes out to neutral ice. They'll try to sauce it over for Shepard. Biros gets tangled up with Olsen. I think that was a return pass for Biros, but she was already heading to the bench for a change. There's a shot right into the breadbasket of Pong. She holds on for a whistle. 8:45 left to go in period number 1. Played deep, and skating onto it is Long. Long turns the corner and gets upended by Kira Boy. Trying a backhand lift there was Chris Terzierol. 14-4 shots on goal favoring the Capitals. Nice stop and start. The intended target there was Lang. It's cut off. Here's Lee. Lee tries to fire short side. Centering pass. It'll come out to Hahn. Hahn lifts it. And the netminder thought she'd closed the catcher on it. It actually went up and over the mark, and Northstar Elite survived that scare. Kept wide, stopping on a dime, and having reinforcements coming in off the bench. They'll make the handoff. An exchange is to Busking. Capitals come away with it. This kicks out to neutral ice, and Horde. Down and turned around was Hakida. Well, I think I referred to as Hong when she was firing. My apologies there. Lee helps break up that play, as does Schneider. Neither squad could get much going. A lot of hot potato there at neutral ice and just into Capitals territory. Now it's Lee. Lee leads the charge. Snaps a shot, but Busking ends up taking the brunt of that. Capitals make a change. Cooper shakes her head as she's disappointed with where that one ends up. They'll go from left to right, and Rushbler sends it out front. Nobody home, at least not wearing white, as this is played back to the point. Raleigh through traffic, leaves a rebound, poked at. And then from her knees, Rushbler is able to defer it back to the point. Blom in there as well. Both of them had a scoring opportunity for a moment. It's a odd man rush if they could get through that last line of defense, but unable to. Nice job holding down the fort. Busking now ahead for Rushbler. She'll give chase behind the cage. Capitals, risky play there, but they're able to make it work. You never like centering it in your own zone. Fortunately, though, for them, they did center it high in the zone, not right into the slot, and they're able to bring it into the offensive third. Holding the line is Connor. Floats it over to the right side. A shot. Deflects, but into the corner. Connor now tangles up. Biros will skate into her spot, and now Yonda spun around on it. Coming in is Mackey. Hits it off of the crossbar. Rhea Mackey with an opportunity there. Boy will feed the blue line. Yonda now with it as Northstar looks to transition. A glove save made by the netminder, and she'll hold on with 5 minutes left to go in our opening period. Olsen with the shot that was partially deflected, sending it a little bit high. The goaltender looks over her shoulder. Shepard, make sure that one doesn't get past her at neutral ice. Yonda fires the shot and misses on her short side, our far side here at the broadcast area. Turned around, but able to do that well was Kratz. And she'll center from left to right. Switch sides, and sometimes it's just as much as changing the positioning from east to west, or in this case, literally from the north side to the south side, but going side to side. A lot of times players, especially at this age, will get tangled up. This is stripped away, and it's Aubrey Lang. Lang with a potential 2-on-1 gets tangled up, and the goaltender will cover up. Sliding over was Cooper at the exact right moment. Lang unable to get that pass off or a shot off. And as the puck started to get close to the net, wasting no time was Pong as she pounced on that loose puck. Coming out of the scrum is Shane, looking for a centering pass. That's broken up. Headed the other way with it is Charlie Long. Long tangled up with McFarland, and backing her up, Schneider dumps it in, and a trio of Capitals will head off for a change. Finding that at her feet was Biros for a moment. Northstar looking to get it deep and unsuccessfully. Here's Biros. She'll lead the rush back the other way. She'll circle a wagon out front, and that's a tough play for a left-handed shot. Would have been easier if instead Mackey shot righty. With it is Biros. She'll play it deep. Jung centered it behind the cage. Now skated onto by Northstar. They have an option. They go to Riebel on the right side. Raleigh has it stripped away by Jung. Jung stays with it. Tries to cut through the middle and does on the forehand, and then getting back into the play, they break it up nicely. I believe that is, yes, Carson Labont, who came back and made sure that Jung wasn't able to snap that shot. This Northstar squad has had enough to deal with already and could ill afford giving Jung an opportunity there. 1:45 left to go in the first. That one kicks off of the skate of Hanberg. And screaming into the play below the goal line was Labont. A collision for the officials. Won't blow the play dead. This is thrown in. They'll have to touch up and do. Activating is the defenseman Cooper. Fires a shot. Stick save made by the netminder. Hakita waiting at the left point, but they'll elect to keep it down low. Kira Boy fending off opposition with her free hand. Hakita calling for it just inside the blue line. Stripped away. Northstar Elite will come away with it. And slowed down a little bit was Busking, as she actually had a teammate in her path. Cutting around now the Capitals. Pick up steam to the blue line, to the red line, and far blue line. Schneider went to the middle, as that was McFarland with the dipsy-doos. Keeping it alive, Hakita. Into the corner, Shepard gains possession, and she'll exit from left to right. Skylar Rushbler stays with it. Rushbler fires, and Cooper blocked it. Teammate found it in her skates. I believe that's Lee. They'll dump it in. 3 seconds left in the period. Cooper will probably just sit on this. She'll rim it around the boards. And that is how our first period will come to an end. We'll step away for 60 seconds and we'll be back with period number 2. 5-0, the BC Capitals lead. You're watching the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. Welcome back to the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. The BC Capitals now skate from left to right. They're in the Washington Capitals-esque jerseys, the white jerseys. Centering pass out front, big stop to start the period by Pong with the right pad. Capitals in the white jerseys with red numerals outlined in navy blue, red names, red shoulders, navy breezers with the white and red stripes, and the white socks with the red stripes. Navy helmets. They now skate from right to left on your screen. Here's Cooper. Keeps it in the line. Firing a shot upstairs, and she could not have walked over and hand-placed that puck in a better position. Just like the first period, the Capitals start things off with a goal in the opening minute. 42 seconds will call this goal. It is going to be scored by Ailey Cooper. That is her first goal and first point of the tournament, and it gives her squad a 6-0 lead. Fed up to Peyton Blom. Blocker save. Mackey picking up the lone assist on the Cooper goal. Firing a shot that hits off of the back of the jersey of Blom, the Northstar Elite in the Dallas Stars-esque jerseys. Green jerseys with white numerals and white names. Black breezers, white socks with green and black stripes. Black helmets are predominantly. There's another blocker save out of Pong, who punches that one away from her. There's two schools of thoughts. If you're not able to hold onto a puck as a netminder, you either want it right in front of you so you can cover it, or if you're not able to keep it right in front of you, or if there's too many sharks in the water, then you want it as far away from you as possible. And that is the route that she elected to go on that particular play. Into the zone, Lee looking to make a drop off, and sniffing that out was Rushbler. Rushbler fights away from Schneider. Lee throws her skate into it, breaks it up right into the stomach of the netminder, Kira Pong. is able to hold on to that one with 17-12 left to go in the second. Fed to the point, slapping it down low is Kratz. Swung around the boards and kept alive by Kirsten Hanberg. Sticking with it is Lee in the corner. Lee tries to feed Schneider and Northstar. Pick that off. Floated ahead. Here's Hanberg. Hanberg misplays it, firing a shot. And denied in tight was Schinkelberg. Clean at the line, and Northstar works it deep. Waiting, firing, and Lee pulled the trigger, but the chamber was empty. That wasn't even her fault, but it was defended well by Northstar. 16-7 shots on goal favoring the Capitals. Lee fires, leaves a rebound, and then it kicks off of the skate of a pursuing Abigail Jung. Hakita unable to keep the zone. She'll dump it in deep, and the Capitals will touch up and reset. Floated down, does it have enough for icing? No, they'll say it was touched on up against the bench. Over for Cooper, gets there first. Immediately she is met below the goal line by Lang. Wraparound centering attempt, and the Capitals will come away with it. Looking for a pass at neutral ice, and wasn't the way they drew it up. But Akizuki will eventually get it in deep. Now out of the zone for Connor. Connor cuts one way, spins the other, and Fink stands her up at neutral ice. Stripped away, held in, and finally muscled out of the zone. Backhand pass, D to D, and coming away with it is Riebel. They'll bank that ahead, and it looked like for a second Yonda had stolen that. Fink hits the deck, but tripped up herself, so no call. Fink now with it. Goes wide, and a good idea on Akizuki. Centering pass out front, and a shot that I don't think went wide on its own. I think that was Pong kicking it out. 13:30 left to go in the second period. 6-0, Capitals on top. This one does come out of the zone, so it will be an offside. That will stop action there. Face-off starts things out just outside of the Capitals' blue line. Firing a shot and a goal. Lee completes the hat trick. We'll call time of the goal 7 minutes and 5 seconds, and that one was in and out as quickly as it could be, to the point where for a moment I thought she might be denied the goal, but you could definitely tell that that one hit Twine and then popped right back out. 7-0, Capitals lead. A strong play at the red line by Raleigh. Lee getting the goal. Rebecca McFarland picking up the lone assist. Here's Olsen into the zone. She's kept wide. Sometimes that's all it is. A player may have an advantage. You know they're not going to be, you're going to be able to stop them dead in their tracks or steal the puck away. So you just want to send them wide, give them the worst angle possible, and then try to make sure they can't make a pass back into more luxurious real estate in the offensive zone. Centering pass out front, and scoring from in tight is Emma Biros. 8:28 time of the goal. Biros set up by Jung, and that makes it an 8-0 score. A collision there. Floated towards the net, and Pong kicking that out at the last possible second to keep Northstar off the score sheet. And the way the PA announcer paused there, I thought there was going to be a second assist, but nope, it is instead just Biros from Jung. And now tracking this down is Hakita. Floats it and didn't connect there with Mackey, but most importantly, she just wanted to gain the zone and see if the forwards couldn't make a play, bring up something out of nothing. Firing a shot, but well off the mark, is Myra Connor. They'll feed it back to Connor. D-to-D pass. Slides that over for Shane. And brought in by Long. Schenkelberg throwing her body into the boards, trying to keep that puck from escaping her, and somehow it found a little bit of daylight, but does stay in the offensive zone for Northstar Elite. Northstar Elite playing Wade Warriors in their first game. They fell in that one 7-1. There's a shot off the crossbar and out. Mackey letting that one go. Excuse me, that was Shane. Here is Schenkelberg. And I think that one was off target. Otherwise, getting just a touch on it with the blocker was Pong. Knifed away at the last second beautifully by Riebel. Skating onto it, Riebel. Has her pass picked off by McFarland. Riebel uses her body to prevent McFarland from advancing it. And this will be left for Hahn. Ahead, here's Schneider. Schneider couldn't corral that puck in. Had the full release, just didn't have the puck with it. 8:05 left to go in period number 2. Played back to the point. Here's Lee through a ton of traffic. Glove save made by the netminder. After it hit the glove, went off of her face mask and cleared out. Here's Lee. Lee waits from below the goal line. Has Hahn, that's where she goes. Feeds Hahn. Clapper knocked down out front, friendly fire. Not meaning to block, that was Biros, although I think it was off the mark. I don't think that prevented a goal from being scored. Gabriella Lee coming into the contest with a team high 5 points and leading, or tied for the lead on the team with 2 goals. She's already had a 3-goal, 4-point performance, and we've still got 7:08 left to go in the second period. Carving wide, distributing. Tended target there was Schneider, and they would have taken plan B, as in the slot was Biros, where that kicked out to, but defended well. Lang, and before she can clear it, that's disrupted. Down low. Jung takes a spill fresh off the bench. A shot doesn't get through. Lang pressured, and Hakita has it kick right back to her. They'll see if they can't catch Northstar in a change. Great hand-eye coordination play. Unable to get the shot off, though, was Chris Ter's aerial. 6:11 left to go, and this is chopped at out front by Akizuki on the shot from the right point. Just keeping that puck moving forward was Blom, gets it out to center ice. Connor tries to feed herself off the right wing boards. And Connor did get in there on Yonda, but Andre Yonda was already starting to fall, so you're not going to see the officials call that. This is lifted out to neutral ice. Checking over her shoulder is Claire Shane. Yonda strips it. Lee floats out ahead, and with one hand on the stick, poking it forward, was Schneider. Blom picks up the loose puck. Rims it around the boards. Now looking to get out is Fink. Applying pressure once again was McFarland. McFarland and Schneider tied up there. This will be sent down the length of the ice. Should have enough for icing, and it will draw the whistle with 4:54 remaining in period number 2. Mentioned that Northstar Elite played Wade Warriors first. They fell in that game 7-1. Were bested by Team West Canada 6-0 and fell to Team Saskatchewan 6-2. For the BC Capitals, they were defeated by the Manitoba All-Stars 5-0, but then beat Team Saskatchewan 4-1 and Team Illinois Selects by a score of 4-2. Looking to get out of the zone, and Blom will come in with speed. She's got a 2-on-1. Tries to feed it over, and unable to put the finishing touch on was Rushbler, although credit the lone defenseman back for the Capitals, helping break that up. 3:50 to go in the period. Rising shot, but off the mark. I believe that was Madsen who let that one go. Gets no further than the red line and Busking. Firing a shot, a save made by the netminder, and Ella Olsen had thoughts of putting home a loose puck, but Pong covers up quickly as we have a running clock. 3:11 left to go in period number 2. Kicked at on the face-off. Firing a shot. It left a rebound for a moment, but then it finally falls in between the pads of Kira Pong. Schenkelberg wasted no time taking that one, turning and firing, and the netminder able to keep the 0 on the board. 21-9 shots on goal, favoring BC. Shepard had to be quick there, as that one was stopped by Gianna Eckel. In pursuit is Boy on the backhand. Now on the forehand, can't keep possession, Northstar Elite. Will look to get it deep and defended well by Schneider. Schneider had a little bit too much of a first step there. Now Cooper will track it down. Cooper started out this second period with a goal just 42 seconds in. Olsen now with it in transition. I thought she was going to get slowed down there quite a bit, but she keeps the pace. 100 seconds left to go in period number 2. Stripped away by the Capitals. Looks like it'll be kept in by Shepard. Now rimmed around the other side, Schneider. And a drive, left pad save by Pong. I thought that was going to get her to double digits in saves, but they'll say that that shot was going wide. Fed to the point, but that was not the intention of McFarland. She was trying to get out of the zone. We're going to have a penalty coming up. We've had a game that has been penalty-free to this point, but an interference call that's going to go against Emma Hakita. Now, with the clock being a running clock at this time, the penalty does not start until the puck is dropped. And it also does not change where it is, as obviously with the Capitals already being in their own zone, puck would be brought down regardless of where the infraction took place. But as a coaching staff, you're much more okay with a penalty that's taken in the defensive zone than in the offensive zone. 5 seconds left to go in the period. This will be sent down the length of the ice, and there will be no icing. So the Capitals lead by a score of 8-0, but Northstar Elite will start period 3 with 1:26 left on the man advantage. We'll step away, take a break, but we'll be back with the third and final period. You're watching the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase right here on Youth Hockey Hub, with the BC Capitals leading Northstar Elite by a score of 8-0 in the 2009 division. Welcome for the start of the third period here between Northstar Elite and BC Capitals. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play. Northstar bringing into the offensive zone, and will dump it in deep. Allie Cooper mans her post and prevents that one from crossing from, as Northstar Elite sees it, the left to the right side of the ice. They'll dump off to the defenseman. Shot gets blocked by Cooper, sent out front, and they can't find anybody in the back end here. Shepard waits, a good decision, but then Lee still able to make the block of the shot. Looking to make a pass ahead, but didn't realize that her line mate was changing. And knifed away from Rushbler. Yonda skates into the offensive zone, goes wide with it. Looking for an outlet. Yonda stays, feeds, and a shot gets through, stopped once again by Pong. 21-9 shots on goal going into period number 3, and a power play that will expire in 13 seconds for Northstar Elite. This eventually kicks out to Schenkelberg. She's kept to the far side, and that's her offhand. One thrown towards the net. Pong makes the stop, and we skate 5-on-5. Floated all the way down, and despite the fact that the BC Capitals certainly had the player closest to the puck, it's an automatic icing. There is no touch-up that negates it. The Capitals in the white jerseys with red shoulders, red numerals outlined in navy blue, red names. Navy blue breezers with red and white up the side, white socks with red stripe and navy helmets. They go from right to left here at rink 5 of the Schwann Super Rink. And they lead by a score of 8-0 into the offensive zone, and stripped of it cleanly by Charlie Long. Settles down for Horde. Horde banks it ahead, and Blom keeps the puck moving, finds it in her skates. And there was a misfire, as the intended target was Biros, but she was heading the other way. That was Gemma Hahn. Centering pass broken up by the Capitals. That'll kick out to Charlie Long, who I could be mistaken, but that certainly looks like a Minnetonka logo on her helmet. The Northstar Elite squad, I was told, based out of New Jersey, but especially for these types of tournaments, a lot of times you'll have local products that help fill out the roster. 17:02 left to go in period number 3. This one goes high off the glass, but stays in play. Slowly trickles over for Olsen. Olsen finds an outlet to Fink on the right side. Fink is able to get that over, and actually Fink sets up the goal, but it's Hazy Schenkelberg who lifts that up and over the right pad of Pong and breaks up the shutout bid. We'll call time of the goal 3 minutes and 25 seconds into period number 3. And should be 3 from 23 for Northstar Elite. Coming right back is Lee. Lee hands off to McFarland. McFarland, second time we've seen her try to fire something through, and the netminder had her glove come off. Yes, it is indeed Schenkelberg from Fink. No secondary assist, and I like the no call there. I think that the Northstar Elite squad was at least mildly protesting that, hey, if a player came through and knocked off our netminder's catcher, how was that not a penalty? It was inadvertent. There wasn't a lot there. She was kind of cutting across and came across the bow, and you know, to each their own. Some goaltenders really like it tight. Some people like it kind of somewhere in the middle. And some people really like it loose, as there's a stick save made by the netminder that was backed up by the pad, and then the rebound held onto by Sophia Gianna Eckel. Me personally, I don't mind the tight feel. I like to make sure that, I guess, more the glove than the blocker side is really on there securely, and the blocker maybe a little bit looser. But again, I tend to go on the tighter side, and to each their own. I've had a lot of people tell me it's really not the way to do it. It's just kind of what feels comfortable. There's a shot from the right point by Shine that was kicked out by Gianna Eckel's right pad. Slowly floats all the way down. There will be no icing here. Cooper gets tangled up with her opposition into the corner. And waiting in the slot was Busking. Of course, that for naught as that didn't end up coming to her. She'll set up in the slot again. Backhand effort by Northstar's Skylar Rushbler, and held onto by the goaltender. A delayed penalty coming up as it's touched up by Northstar. Roughing will be the call with 13:32 remaining on a rolling clock. That's when the whistle was blown. So as we take a look right now at the 2009 standings, it is the Manitoba All-Stars and Team Western Canada atop it. And to be honest, I'm going to just refresh here, as sometimes if I don't, I might be looking at some incomplete standings. Those two have each completed just 2 games with perfect 2-0 records. 12:40 left to go in period number 3. BC Capitals scoring 5 in the first, 3 in the second, and the lone goal here in period number 3 belongs to Team Northstar Elite. Into the offensive zone, going forehand and scoring is going to be the BC Capitals' Rebecca McFarland. A power play tally at 7:51 of the third. And once again, the differential is 8. It's 9-1 British Columbia. Kicked at by Schenkelberg. She is the goal scorer for Northstar Elite. A puck played behind their own net, and they'll look to swing it around the bend and exit that way. They announce now the penalty. That was Rushbler's roughing call that set up the power play. There's a shot blocked by the shin pad of Ailey Cooper. So Schneider and Emma Hakaidi with the primary and secondary assists respectively. Firing and scoring on the short side is going to be Abigail Jung. It looked like with her windup that she was really going to try to go heavy and kind of ended up scoring a different way, but just put it exactly where there was daylight. And I think the windup kind of threw the netminder off. She was expecting a fastball, ended up getting something of a combination between a curveball and a changeup. Barrows picks up the lone helper on the Jung goal for Jung. That is her second of the game, scored back at the 3:31 mark of period number 1. They'll play this to the right side, and unable to get that through was Terzariol. Kept wide is Fink. Looking to get it deep was Long. Long takes a spill, was down on one knee, pops right back up, and somehow keeps that in the zone. I was certain that one had squirted over the blue line and come out of play. Was going to be an offside, as we can't see right where that blue line meets the boards. Couple of efforts by BC in tight, then a glove save made by the netminder. I think that one was going wide, which makes it even that much more impressive that she was able to cover the net and more. Fought off by the stick of Gianna Eckel. They'll get it to the red line, no further. Dumping it back in is Hanberg. Now an opportunity. Coming out on the break was Busking. Busking will be sent wide, fires a shot, and I believe Pong got just enough of that to nick it up and over the crossbar. The Capitals lined up just inside their blue line for like Rockettes for a moment, but they look to break out here. Here's Schneider. Schneider, that's a smart decision. The aggressive play is trying to keep it on your back end, maybe feed the point, but in a game where you're up comfortably, you just want to make sure you don't take any unnecessary risk and just cycle that thing forward. Here's Yonda on the turnover, and just overskated it herself. They'll get it ahead for Mackey. Mackey plays it forward. Biros giving chase. Rimmed around the boards, and screaming in out of nowhere was Hakita. Now Hakita will look to defend Olsen. Does so beautifully. With it is Jung. Jung slips around one player, goes forehand to feed it over. I thought for sure she was going to take the shot. That almost worked out beautifully. Cooper. And that's kicked out by Gianna Eckel. Hakita starting to back up, expecting that the Capitals would give up the zone, and then tapping at it from in tight quarters was Rhea Mackey. Mackey will get tangled up. A little bit of a rugby scrum ensues. Capitals will come away with it. It's Mackey. She has it poked away. Cooper gives chase. She's got her numerical adversary, Schenkelberg, applying pressure. Sent all the way down the length of the ice, and icing will be the call. 6:02 left to go in the third period. Capitals will control, take it around their own cage, and come up the left side. Shane firing and just throwing her shoulder and body into it on the near side post was Sophia Gianna Eckel. Lang will come away with it. Thought she was going to make the handoff, but she'll just skate onto it herself. Feeds Fink. Fink trying to go back to Lang. Also had in there Labont, and Pong has seen enough. She will cover up and spell that scoring opportunity. She will gladly freeze the puck and surrender a defensive zone restart coming to her right or blocker side. Lee at the draw, but it's controlled by Northstar. Shepard moved that forward. Fink gets tangled up. Lang waiting in the slot. Now she'll pursue and try to break up the attempted breakout of the Capitals. Schneider turns, has support. Lee there with her. Lee does a nice job jumping out at the last second to avoid a teammate-on-teammate collision. This will kick back for Hanberg, Kirsten Hanberg. Started to go behind her own cage, then uses the backhand and feeds a teammate, but it's Northstar keeping it alive. Yonda runs into a player who she surrenders size to, and because of it, we've got a collision I think the officials just missed. Giving a tap, and now McFarland trying to give some of that back. Here's Lee. Pursuing is Busking. Spins, waits, had her pass picked off by Schneider. Schneider feeds it to Hahn, calling for it at the left point. Hahn's effort blocked. Yonda tried to break that up, and now Schneider with it. 3:30 left to go in the third. We're going to have a penalty called against the BC Capitals, and it will put Northstar Elite on the power play. A quick scoring summary for BC Selects. 49 seconds in, it was Gabriella Lee from Rebecca McFarland. 57 seconds in, Emma Biros from Abigail Jung. Unassisted scoring was Lee at 2:22. At 3:31 of the first, Jung from Myra Connor. And then Addie Schneider from Lee and McFarland at 9:36. That would leave the score 5-0. BC Selects after one. We'll get into the periods 2 and 3 scoring in a moment. But with 1:30 left to go in the man advantage, the Northstar Elite fire a shot, glove save, and held on to on that offering from Gianna Horde. In the second period, 42 seconds in, a goal from the blue line. Ailey Cooper scoring from Rhea Mackey. At 7:05, Lee completed the hat trick once again from McFarland. To start the third period, it was Northstar Elite getting on the board. Scoring was Hazel Schenkelberg from Emerson Fink. And then the last two goals at 7:51. Scoring was Rebecca McFarland from Schneider and Hakita. And at 9:22, it was Jung scoring from Biros. Minute 30 left to go in the contest. 30 seconds left on the man advantage for Northstar Elite. This will be rimmed down, and again, with the Capitals being shorthanded, icing not a worry. Floated ahead, and Shane got a piece of it. Here's Schenkelberg. Cuts to the middle, snaps a shot. It leaves a loose puck for a moment. They bang at it and can't get it to go. Capitals floated all the way down, and by the time it would have crossed the goal line, it would have been after the penalty expired, but it's when it's released, so icing not in play, and that's why the netminder elects to play it herself. There's a high riser from Hahn, up and over everybody. Tipped right on. And another big stop out of the goaltender, Sophia Gianna Eckel, who you look at the number, obviously you're not happy about it if you're a Northstar Elite fan, but the netminder, Gianna Eckel, has made some huge saves. It's just the volume of the shots that came her way and a lot of times the quality, but she'll sit right now with 22 saves in the contest. Final 10 seconds. Looking to get out of the zone are the Capitals. Cooper taps it ahead for Schneider. Schneider's met head-on by Maya Shepard. 3 seconds left, 2, 1, and the horn will sound with Northstar Elite falling to the BC Capitals by a score of 10-1, and the 2009 U14 BC Capitals improve their record to 3-1-0-0, and we will have to check in with the other games in the division to see where that ends up putting them at in the standings. One final time, my name is Eric Zamora, doing the play-by-play. Tom Ritchie, our camera operator, engineer, and producer, and we thank you for tuning in. The final score: BC Capitals 10, Northstar Elite 1. You've been watching the 2009 division of the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase right here on Youth Hockey.